an Australian newspaper, apologizing now to actress Rebel Wilson after it was accused of forcing Rebel to go public with her sexuality. So on Friday, Rebel posted on Instagram saying she'd found her, quote, Disney princess. The next day, which the Sydney Morning Herald, a columnist wrote that he'd known about the relationship and had given Wilson a day and a half to comment, which many say is an unacceptable way to put pressure on any person to come out. Okay, Shannon, we'll start with you, your initial reaction to this story.
Yeah, there was so much to this, too. I think everybody, I'm a member of the LGBTQ plus community, so her coming out was very exciting. Another one in the club. We were so excited for Rebel Wilson to come out. But then to hear the next day that she was almost forced to come out because she was going to be outed if she hadn't, and she didn't get to control her own outing is shocking. It's 2022. No one should have to be outed anymore. It's
and the fact that she was outed by a fellow member of the LGBT community. Like, this is a gay writer. And I felt like when I read his sort of apology, I found it to be, I mean, not good enough in my opinion. He claims that this is something, actually there's a quote that I found. He said, celebrities have huge influence in our culture, duh. We still have to ask questions, sometimes very difficult ones. So he's trying to justify this in the name of journalism, even though what he was doing was he'd heard rumors and he wanted to confirm. He basically said in this note, I have enough information to write this article with or without your comment. Right. But as such, I'd love for you to comment on it. And for him to be turning it around to just being like he was just doing due diligence, to me, was extra terrible.
He had to apologize for that, too.
I know.
So that initial piece was them telling on themselves, because Rebel didn't reveal.
Correct.
How? Right. So they told on themselves. He wrote that piece, told on himself, then had to pull that piece down and then apologize again. Then his editor had to apologize. It's a mess.
But what I found interesting about this is the idea of what we would now know as public interest and outing any information about somebody, be it their sexuality or other behavior behind closed doors, and is that in the public interest? Because that's what journalists would say, real journalists would say. And you know this very well, Andrea. It's like, what is the public interest in knowing something? So, for example, if there are politicians who are outed for bad behavior or illegal behavior, criminal activity, you know, Anthony Weiner's terrible behavior with underage girls on social media, like that you can argue is in the public interest. He's an elected official.
Absolutely.
And so what's interesting to me, and our producer really pointed this out to me, was the equation, like, is this behavior of hers being part of the gay community now somehow a piece of public interest that is still somehow viewed as deviant that we need to know about and therefore be outed for? And I thought, where are we? And is this 2022?
No, I don't think that was it. I thought it was just of like salacious interest for some people. He felt like he had a scoop. To me, this is purely someone's personal interest.
It's the witch hunt that's been going on forever, because let's be real. Oprah Winfrey is guilty of doing this. Barbara Walters is guilty of doing this. Perez Hilton notoriously was always outing people, and I'll never understand the witch hunt. But as you were saying, what's really troubling is it's somebody from the LGBTQ plus community who did this, and that betrayal. Like years ago, I was an entertainment reporter, and there was a very famous Black celebrity who there was whisperings that they were gay, and my boss asked me to interview this person because they thought I'd have a better chance at getting this person to open up and tell me that they were gay, and I could not explain to this heterosexual Caucasian male that there's a bigger ramification here. I know it's Pride Month and it's great and everybody's very accepting, but for people in the community, they know it's still dangerous. There's still a lot of cultures that don't accept it. And as a Black woman, I know that. And what he was expecting me and wanting me to do in the interest of telling the story, we want to be first. We want to be able to tell that story. It's like, I'm putting this person at a danger that they don't understand. It's a great story for you, but for this person, there's a loss of family. It's a loss of that audience that they have is not accepting, and they know that. And they were expecting me to use my Black card to out this person, which I refused to do. Did I get in trouble? Yes. Do I regret that decision? No, because I know what it's really like. It's not that easy for everybody. And that's the part that I find so troubling, is that this man knows that. And he was still trying to justify his behavior, which I'll never understand.
But I think that is the point, is that in all of our journeys of getting better and doing better, it also sometimes includes members of marginalized communities. People of color can be racist. People who are members of the queer community can also have homophobia, can also do harmful things to other members of the community. So it's about moving forward. You mentioned Oprah. You mentioned Barbara Walters, you mentioned Perez Hilton, who's gay and was outing people. But all of that behavior about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, was actually normalized gossip consumption. They weren't called out on it at the time. That's why you keep saying in 2022, because there was a time where this was okay. And maybe not people individually, but collectively as a culture, we participated. We wanted to know who was gay. And now we're having conversations about how wrong that is, and clearly everybody needs to do better, including certain members of the gay community too.
And I'm glad conversations like this are being had, because there is still people in the media, like people are still thinking that Shawn Mendes might be gay and talking about that and making TikToks about that and all of that. So I think it just really opens up the conversation more about how it's not our business at the end of the day.
You know what though? I mean, I think as members of the media, that's a really good note, because as you said, the word scoop drives our business. We all want to be the first, the exclusive, and that's typically been the driving force of media. And now we have to reckon with, is it more important to be first or right? So if in these situations, it's not a regular two celebrities breaking news, new couple alert situation, right? In that case, for sure, Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian, new couple alert, because there's no harm.
Exactly.
Cara Delevingne has a new girlfriend, fine, because she was already out. Rebel Wilson wasn't out yet. So then in that case, news agencies and media, we have to make the choice. We got to drop the scoop. I'm not going to be this, but can we as media organizations make that choice?
Let the person tell their own
right
story.
answer. That's the
When
right
money
answer.
drives.
But the
Yeah.
Sydney
When money
Morning
drives things.
Herald decided not that was the right answer.